Hi everyone, Sabrina here from Scrappy Tales Crafts, and today's video is a part of the Trinity Stamps July release sneak week. So here is a glimpse at one of the new stamp sets included in the release. It is called Hello There. It's a small 3x4 stamp set, so the main image is this cute little gnome sitting on a flower. And I'm going to color the flower in as a daisy, so I'm using my C2 and C0 Copic markers to color it in. I decided to have my shadows coming from the center of the flower, so I'm flicking the darker color from the tops of each petal. I added my C2 to the areas that were the closest to the center of that flower, and now I'm going over those darker areas with my C0, again flicking from the top, and I'm leaving white at the bottom of the petals because I do want this to look like a white flower. I don't want to add too much shading, but adding just a little gives that flower some dimension. I'm now going to color in the stem and leaves. I'm choosing some bright green colors. I created a really bright and fun yellow shaker card, so I definitely took inspiration from the name of this release, which is called Bright Side, and created probably the brightest card I've ever created in my life. So now I'm going to color in his beard, and I wanted there to be a difference between the white flower and his white beard. So I'm going to use my W markers, which has more of a brown tint. The cool markers have more of a blue tint, so it's slightly different in terms of the two gray colors. And the colors that I used for his beard are W2 and W0. I'm actually changing up my shading. Normally I do a center highlight, but this time I thought that he was kind of looking up towards the sun, so I'm going to have my light source come from the top right. So I'm adding my darker color towards the bottom left. As you can see, I'm coloring in his hat, and I added my darkest color, Y18, to the left side of his hat, went over those dark areas with my Y15, which is my mid-tone. I extended that color more towards the right, but I did leave a little bit of white still there to blend everything together with my highlight color, which is my Y13. I'm now coloring in his little feet and his nose. So there's a little bit of skin showing on this gnome, but I love that his eyes are covered by his hat and his beard pretty much covers his whole body. He definitely looks like a traditional Norwegian gnome, and I think it's really cute. I love this little image. So for his skin, I used E13, E11, and E00, and I felt like his beard was blending in with the flower, which was not what I wanted. So I'm going to change his white beard to a gray beard. So I'm just going to add W4 around the edges of his beard, and I just realized that I went back to a center highlight, but that's okay. The person who gets this card, I'm sure, will not even notice, but I think that was just my instinct because 95% of the time I do center highlights. But anyway, adding that W4, I thought added some contrast and helped the beard differentiate from the flower. So I like how that looked a lot better. And now I'm going to go ahead and color the butterflies. All of these butterflies are included in the stamp set, and I love that the one that I stamped closest to his nose looks like it would land on his nose. I thought that was adorable. But I decided to color in these butterflies green to tie in the green that was on the leaves and stem. And then off camera, I'm going to die cut these images. I'm going to just color up a few of these butterflies. I only end up using the green ones, but I will use the other butterflies that I'm coloring in another video, which will be posted in August. So Trinity is going to be having a release Instagram hop on July 31st, so tomorrow if you're watching this on Thursday, and it'll be a lot of fun. There's going to be some prizes given away. I will be participating, and the entire design team will. So it's going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be so much inspiration for this wonderful release, and hopefully you guys will participate. I will have my Instagram link down below if you want to check it out and follow me, and then you guys will be the first to see the release and the hop. So as you can see, I did some die cutting. I die cut a scallop stitch rectangle from some glitter cardstock. Now you can't really see the glitter on camera, it's very subtle, but I wanted to ink blend on it and I wasn't sure if it would work. It did not. At least it did not work on the glitter paper that I was using. I think this came from a Michaels glitter paper pad, and it was just too porous for the ink, so the ink never dried and it didn't really stick to the paper. You can see I'm adding a lot of ink as well. It just did not absorb and it just sat on top of the paper. So I would not recommend this. Maybe it would work on a different glitter paper, but I don't think I'll be trying this again anytime soon. But the inks that I'm using are Squeezed Lemonade, Dried Marigold, and Wild Honey. You're going to see later on I'm going to add another scallop stitch rectangle on top of this one, just because by the time I was done making the shaker, a lot of the ink had rubbed off, and yeah, I don't really know why it did that, but I would not recommend it. So here it is all finished. I'm going to flip it around and add some acetate behind the window, and then I'm going to add some foam tape, and I have some double mounted foam tape which I got from Uline. Basically it's 2 layers of regular foam tape. I only use this tape when I have a wide border such as this one. Otherwise I use my Scotch 3M just because the Uline is really sticky, and if you wanted to cut it into small strips you basically will ruin your scissors. So I don't know if I would completely recommend it, but it is kind of handy when I have larger shakers such as this one. So I'm going to glue my little gnome and my sentiment on top of the acetate. The Hello There sentiment is included in the stamp set. Okay, so I'm going to flip this around and then add my foam tape. And you're going to see by the time I flip this back around, a lot of that ink will have been removed. And so off camera, I ink blended the exact same distress inks on white neenah 110-pound cardstock, and I just glued that right on top of this glitter one. It was a little bit painful because glitter paper is more expensive, but it just looked 10 times better. And for some reason, ink blending on neenah is so much more brighter. It's a little bit more difficult to blend than on watercolor paper or Bristol, but I feel like the distress inks are brighter, so I do enjoy blending on neenah. So for my shaker bits, I'm using some new embellishments from the Trinity shop. These are called Sunny Seeds, and I thought they were so cute. They just add happiness to this card, I feel. I love the color yellow. The older I get, the more I love yellow. It's probably my second favorite color now, and I don't know why I used to hate it, but every time I look at yellow I'm just instantly happy. So I also added some seashore sequins just to add a little bit of shine to my shaker bits. And then I'm going to remove my foam tape and place my scallop rectangle right on top. By the way, the cardstock that I'm using behind is a light gray. I thought it tied in nicely with his gray beard. And then yeah, that's the completed shaker. I thought that turned out really nice. So here is that other ink blended rectangle. I sprayed it with some water to add a little bit of water splatters. You can't really see them just because it doesn't bleach as much on yellow ink. But I did do a second round of water, picking it up with my paper towel, and then I will just glue that right on top of the glitter, and you can see the difference. Look how much ink got removed. It was because it was sticking to my glass mat and to my fingers. So I just attached that over the glitter one with art glitter glue, and I thought that looked much nicer. I'm going to trim the excess gray cardstock that I saw peeking behind the frame. And yeah, that's going to complete the shaker window. I just love those little flowers. And Trinity has a few, I think these are enamel. They kind of remind me of school erasers. They're really cute, but she has a few of them in her shop, and she has some other flowers too. There was actually another design team member that had a similar idea, and she created her shaker with pink flowers. So to finish this card off, I'm just going to glue down a few of these green butterflies, and you can see I also attached another sentiment which I white heat embossed onto a black strip. That says look on the bright side, and that's going to be included in another stamp set that's going to be a part of the release. So that's going to finish up my card today. I hope I was able to inspire you. I can't wait for you to see this release. I will have affiliate links down below if you want to purchase this stamp set tomorrow. That will give me a little bit of commission off of your order. So I would really appreciate if you use those links if you liked my video. If you haven't yet already, please subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next time. Bye!